All right, I want to play a clip. Let's get to the debt ceiling debate because it's going to be a huge fight in the House of Representatives. August 2nd is the deadline. And look what a lot of folks have now come up with. September 26, 1987, the then President of the United States, Ronald Reagan, who had to get the debt ceiling raised at that time, and he said this.
Congress consistently brings the government to the edge of default before facing its responsibility. This brinkmanship threatens the holders of government bonds and those who rely on Social Security and veteran benefits. Interest rates would skyrocket. Instability would occur in financial markets, and the federal deficit would soar. The United States has a special responsibility to itself and the world to meet its obligations. It means we have a well-earned reputation for reliability and credibility, two things that set us apart from much of the world.
Democrats have found that tape, and they're circulating it. You remember those days, 1987. You know, that was then, this is now. And so many of these House Republicans, as you know, they love Ronald Reagan.
Right. Well, look, it does bring me back to old times. I was a passionate Reagan supporter in those days. And it reminds me of one of the reasons why people in my age cohort became Republicans, because the Democrats are the party of irresponsible children who did things like this. And I go, my pulse begins to beat as I hear, yeah, that is exactly what they were doing. And I think one of the reasons why some of us get so angry about this issue now is that the thing that made us Republicans, that made us conservatives, was a commitment to things like you pay your bills, you pay the bondholders. It's not bleeding heart to say you pay the bonds. In fact, quite the opposite. That there are, and not just bondholders, but everybody who has a contract. This is a debate not about future spending, which must be controlled. It's about past spending. And Reagan was right, and that's why we were Republicans.
Are there enough Republicans in the House of Representatives to get to 218 votes to avert a debt ceiling crisis?
Look, Speaker Boehner has a serious problem dealing with his own caucus. You know, what really jumps out at me is that you have all of these people, they frankly are in love with the myth of President Ronald Reagan, not the reality of President Ronald Reagan. And I would hope Tea Partiers and also House Republicans would step back and say, wait a minute, this is our patron saint. This is what he said. But on the flip side, you also had Senator Barack Obama, who voted against the debt ceiling as well, and had to come out and say he was playing politics. This is when you have Democrats and Republicans who are all acting like children, trying to hold on to the ideology, not think about what's best for this country.